Hey, good morning, church. Now, there is the makings of a sunrise. I'm out here a little bit earlier than normal today, so not quite as much light. Let me get over here to my artificial light. For today's Steveo Devo, we're going Old Testament to the book of Judges. We start the book of Judges today. Everybody's favorite book of the Bible, right? Hardly. I personally think Judges is about the most depressing book in the Bible, even worse than Job. But there are lessons to be learned, and I'm going to tell you a big one today. I think there are three basic truths today, and probably we all know, and these will be reminders of that. Truth number one, eventually everyone sits down to a banquet of consequences. You ever heard that? I just read that the other day, and I thought, how true. Eventually we all sit down in our lives to a banquet of consequences for the decisions and actions that we have made in the past. In Judges, you have Adonai-Bezek. They cut off his thumbs and his toes, and he said, you know, back in the day, I had 70 kings sit underneath my table who I had cut off their thumbs and their toes, and now I have my thumbs and my toes cut off. Wow, talk about karma. I'm not a Hindu, but you know what I mean when I say karma, a banquet of consequences. And also in Judges, the Israelites did not do what they were supposed to do. They had the power of God. They were supposed to drive out the Canaanites, but they didn't. They didn't do their part. God was doing his part. They weren't doing their part. And now they have to live. They got to live with the consequences. The Canaanites are a thorn in their side. We're going to read about that for the rest of this miserable book. So that's number one. Everybody sits down to a banquet of consequences. Number two, life is short. The psalmist writes, teach us to measure the brevity of our lives. To the Lord, 1,000 years is like a day. You know, the older you get, the more that's our perspective too, right? Where did the time go? I'm 66 years old. I was just 16 yesterday. Life is brief, short, full of trouble, the psalmist says. And so that's what we have to deal with. We're at the banquet of consequences. That means there's going to be trouble in our lives. We're just dealing with it. God mitigates some of those consequences. He mitigates them more than we even know, but he doesn't take them all away. So I just don't want you to think it's just you. And then the third truth is the Lord is our shelter. He is our refuge. And the psalmist, again, there's two psalms today. The psalmist says we take our refuge in God. We turn our hearts back to God. And God loves us, and he helps us through. He knows how distasteful that banquet of consequences can be. So we spend as much of our time focusing on God and loving God and receiving God's love as we can. He's gonna get us through that banquet. And when we get to the other side, we'll be happy we trusted the Lord. Well, that's what I'm gonna try to do today at my banquet. Trust the Lord and let him be my refuge. Perhaps you will as well. God loves you, my friends, and so do I.